Today we've got something fun to do. Today we are unboxing the Phantom 4 Pro. Now this is the regular Pro, it's not the Pro Plus. The Pro Plus is the one with the built-in screen. I opted for this one just because I kind of like the editing on the go you can do with your phone. And you can still do that on the Pro Plus, but you have to have the remote controller, which I didn't really want to deal with, and it's a little bit more expensive. So let's unbox the Phantom 4 Pro. I've shot a lot with the Phantom 4, so this will be cool to kind of see how it's different, see how it's the same. All indications say that it's mostly the same, just with a kind of increase in specs and some of the nice things. But let's do the actual unboxing and see how it goes. I could cut this, but I don't have any keys with me right now, or a knife. Unfortunately, I made that mistake. I should have probably been prepared. Let's knock this open, and all right, that's all empty. And here we go. Now, I'm not a fan of the gray case that DJI gives you with the Phantom 4 and the Phantom 4 Pro. I actually opted to plasti dip my Phantom 4 Pro, my Phantom 4 case black, so I might end up doing the same thing with this one. I just think it's such a off-putting gray. It's like, it's too bright, it's too obvious. I like something more black that blends in kind of with all your other cases. If you have Pelican cases or any other kind of case, usually in the black or darker realm, so this gray is not my favorite. But inside, what do we got? We've got the silica packet, of course, and the first thing, let's take a look at the remote here. Of course, it's all wrapped in the normal protective plastic that they put on everything. Let's see if I can get this off. You know, you open things and you want to kind of be gentle and be nice with it, but at the same time, you're just going to throw it all away. So what does all the plastic really matter? It doesn't, so let's just tear it off. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but we'll figure that out another time. So we can pull that off, and the controller looks and feels almost identical to the Phantom 4. It might be slightly different in some way, maybe no, it looks pretty much identical to the Phantom 4. So the Phantom 4 Pro, very similar controller. I believe the technology in the controller is actually a little bit better. You can transmit further and have kind of better signal between the drone. Haven't tested any of this out, obviously, because this is all brand new, just opening it for the first time. So expect videos in the future of actual hands-on with the drone. For now, this is just the unboxing and kind of looking at the gear, which is fun to do as well. So this looks pretty standard, pretty similar. You mount your phone right in there, or I guess you could use a tablet or something like that, but that's your live view monitor right there. Again, I opted for the Phantom 4 Pro and not the Pro Plus, because I like having the videos stored locally on my phone, so then I can edit them on the go later on and kind of make drone little highlight videos. And you could do the same thing with the Pro Plus. It's built into the remote, so you would need this whole remote rather than just your phone. Now, let's look at the actual drone itself. We've got some danger warnings, and construction and everything looks very, very similar to the Phantom 4. So the Pro looks pretty much the same. We've got some additional sensors, of course. There's some upgrades there. And we've got, you know, the micro SD card slot on the side. Now the camera does look bigger. I know it's got a bigger sensor in here, but the camera actually physically looks bigger just to my eyes. The gimbal support here, which I'll take off, looks to be supporting. Oh, yeah, that definitely looks bigger. I'm curious to see if my ND filters will fit. Whenever I use drones, I always like to use ND filters so you can keep your shutter speed following that 180-degree shutter angle rule. Always, always, always. So I like to use ND filters because you're almost always outside in bright daylight, and I think they should fit, but I will have to wait to confirm that later. Supposedly everything, including the battery, is compatible between the Phantom 4 and the Phantom 4 Pro. If I could get it out, it seems kind of wedged in there. I don't know, there might be a lock or something on this one, or maybe it's just really hard to get out. Yeah, this battery is really wedged in there. I cannot get it to pop out. I might have to play around with that in a little bit safer environment than trying to just force it right now. Maybe because really trying to get it out, and it is not budging. So I don't know what's going on there. I'll have to play around with that a little bit more, but pretty much the same, additional sensors and a slightly bigger camera with a bigger sensor. Next up, we've got the manuals and stuff, which I'll read through later if I don't just kind of skim through them at some point. Here we've got the propellers, which are the same as the Phantom 4 propellers, I believe. So there shouldn't be any problem in terms of using the old ones versus using the new ones. They look identical, so I don't think that should be a problem. I have a few spares around from the Phantom 4 regular, so it's nice that these, and it looks like it actually comes with, let's see how many are in here. There's actually quite a few. There are 2 full sets, so you don't even need backups if you've got a Phantom 4 Pro, Phantom 4, and you're expecting to have some props for the 4 Pro. You probably don't need it because it comes with 8. That's plenty, I would imagine. Now we've got the obvious charging cables, similar arrangement in the box to the Phantom 4 box. Looks all very similar, very much the same kind of charging setup because the batteries between the Phantom 4 and the Phantom 4 Pro, like I said, are interchangeable. You can use either one. The Phantom 4 Pro actually has a higher capacity battery, so you get a little bit extra flight time out of it, but it's not that significant from my perspective. I've always been happy with the flight time from the Phantom 4, and so to get a little bit more life out of it is great, but not a deal breaker. So if you got old batteries or new batteries, you should be fine. We've also got some USB adapters in here. These are really nice depending on the type of phone you're using. So this looks like micro USB to regular USB. That's really handy when you need to connect your phone or tablet to the remote controller for firmware updates and just to kind of keep your system up to spec with the latest updates. Other than that, oh, there's one more cable in here. What is this? We've got, this is a micro USB to regular USB. Unfortunately, there's no lightning cable in here, which I use an iPhone, so having an lightning cable would be nice to supply so you don't have to bring your own to the party, but hey, you've got micro USB if that suits your needs. And there is this additional piece right here which isn't familiar to me from the Phantom 4. I guess it could be a piece that just got lost or misplaced, but I don't think this was on the Phantom 4. You can't use the same case between the Phantom 4 and the Phantom 4 Pro, unfortunately. Some of the parts are interchangeable, but not the casing. So this says it's a slot for batteries. I imagine they sit, 1 and 2 right here. I wish they had, I mean, it's kind of a give and take. I like what they did with the Mavic, where they kind of changed the propeller design, they changed the battery design. It seems like DJI hasn't opted to do those changes to the Phantom line, which is nice for compatibility, but it's also unfortunate in terms of ease of use because now you've got multiple batteries flying around. If you've got the Mavic, you need its own set of batteries for that. If you got the Phantom, you need its own set of batteries for that. Same thing with the propellers. So they are kind of 2 totally separate systems, even though they are made by the same company. And I guess that's to be expected because they are different model lines, but it would be kind of nice, I guess, from my perspective, if they had a little bit more universality between all of their lines. The Inspire has totally separate stuff as well. So just keep that in mind. You are buying the model system, not the brand system, if that makes any sense. But other than that, this box is totally empty and we have officially unboxed it. I think overall it is to be expected. I wasn't expecting anything radically different from the Phantom 4. Again, this is just the 4 Pro. It's not like the 5 where we would expect maybe even bigger hardware design changes. But I really love the specs of the Phantom 4 Pro on paper in terms of offering 4K 60 and some of the extra sensors and just the safety mechanisms. There is tripod mode on the Phantom 4 Pro, which I have been very jealous of from a couple of my friends who have the Mavic. So it's nice to see that they've kept the line fresh and kept updating it with new features, but they've also kept some of the things the same, which I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate, having that consistency from the Phantom 4 if they're looking to upgrade to the Phantom 4 Pro.